I think providing health care is important to the entire community. We want to be a thriving, just community, and it cannot be if there are people who are left out of the healthcare system.
Linda's whole career, more than 4 decades, has been focused just on one thing, and that's advancing the mission of the clinic. What that means is making sure that we are serving people who need care and serving the broader needs of the community as well as we can.
This was 1970. There were many demonstrations. We were very much against the war. We were young. I think I was 20. Linda was that same age.
There was this contingent of folks that were moving from Cornell to Seattle, and one of them was Linda McVeigh.
Many of us journeyed west to organize Boeing workers against the Vietnam War.
Those were early Panther years, which meant that we were in paramilitary mode.
We were part of the medical brigade on every anti-war demonstration.
Still very armed with inside of our headquarters.
People showed up pretty determined and pretty angry.
At the rear of that mass of people was a platoon of medical students that were attending to the demonstrators on the front lines.
We at one point divided into groups of interest. There were a group of us, I think 5 or 6, who were interested in healthcare.
We operated the Sidney Miller Clinic in our headquarters, which was also our party barracks.
I remember it well because we went in the clinic and there were sandbags up the windows because it was a dangerous time at that point. But their programs were superb.
In our 10-point program, we talked about the right to access to quality health care. So when Linda and Tom came to us for guidance to start Country Doctor, we told them the path that we had taken, being to do whatever it took to get your clinic going.
If you know Linda, you know that she was right in the thick of every honest fight that needed to be carried on.
All of the original people involved were committed to access to health care, and they were joined together with that commitment.
We went to Capitol Hill because at that time it really was a transition community. It was multiracial, multi-ethnic, always progressive.
The first thing that we did was to go around to the people of Capitol Hill and knock on doors and ask them what they would want in their health care.
And a lot of people had been laid off, so they were interested.
And then the challenge was to try to find a place to open a clinic. We spotted this deserted fire station up at 15th and Republican, remodeled the upper floors, and opened our doors. Linda was indispensable, and when she assumed the leadership of the clinic, she never looked back.
Linda was always very conscious of the board's role and how to help the board do what it was supposed to do.
It starts always at the top. You know, if the leader is someone who has the well-being of the community at heart, that permeates throughout the rest of the organization, and you can see that when you walk into Country Doctor. That's what makes Country Doctor successful. She's set that example.
Country Doc was formed really as a very grassroots idea.
We had common values.
There was a great awakening to social justice in that period of time.
Is a team of people who all work together to create an institution.
What Linda has accomplished is a consistency of vision coupled with the determination to drive that vision forward into new times. She's led the changes that have had to take place in order to really serve the people as waves of immigration came in, as the AIDS epidemic hit.
The investigators see this as a serious
It
public
shows
health
that the
problem.
lifestyle of some male homosexuals
The scientists say they're
has
dealing with
triggered
some
an epidemic
new
of a
deadly
rare form
sexually
of cancer.
transmitted disease.
Country Doctor's response to the HIV epidemic gives a great example of Linda's leadership style.
Federal health officials consider it an epidemic.
The funding was not yet certain, the training hadn't been provided, the treatments were uncertain.
It seemed to strike only one segment of the population.
New sources of stigma and fear in our community. Linda was the one who helped the organization take the calculated risk to get involved with something that we had to do because it was a moral mandate. Linda has been fearless to say, we might not know what the answer is today, but it's our responsibility to figure out how to find an answer.
In the beginning, the collective identified what the community wanted, and I think they've held true to looking to the community for leadership.
It's amazing to me that a clinic that started out with volunteer doctors in an old fire station with 2 examining rooms is now a network of health centers serving tens of thousands of people each year.
Linda, to her credit, helped rescue and save the now only existing original Black Panther Party clinic by merging Carolyn Downs into Country Doctor. And the community and the Black Panther Party is forever indebted to you, Linda, for saving our clinic.
When I think of what Linda's achieved at Country Doc, I think the #1 thing is the clarity of her vision and keeping the dream that Raggedy Group 40 years ago had alive. It's touched the lives of thousands and thousands of people, and I run into them every day.
Have fun with your grandbaby and come back and see us. Love you so much.
We were able to come to agreements that were beneficial for everyone.
You have the most positive energy I've ever met in a human being.
It's an incredible guidance for everyone who works here.
Linda McVeigh-san, domo arigato gozaimasu.
Thank you so much. We love you.
Thank you so much for what you have done during the
Your career was productive and helpful to so many people. Safar Hosh.
Linda, muchísimas gracias por todo lo que has hecho.
That what you've done in the last 4+ decades for our clinic.
Thank you for all the service and hard work you've done for our clinic, and we're never going to forget you.
You have left a huge imprint on this community with all of these patients, all of these caregivers. And I can hear you saying, do it for the mission. That's what I hear.
We can't predict where healthcare is going to go. We can't predict where society is going to go. But the one thing we know is inequity is not going to go away overnight. We know that social justice is always going to be part of the healthcare response that we need. Where that is, we will be there.
We're building generations of healthier people, and community health centers play a vital part in that.